Hi there, and thank you for joining me for today's Spelling Daily Dose lesson. I want to start by telling you the materials you will be needing so you can get them out and be ready to go. So, first off, spelling book. You guys pretty much use this every day, so get that out. You'll need it. You will also need your spelling box with those index cards inside with the words you're practicing so that in the next lesson when it's time to show you know on your quiz, you'll do really well. And then to practice your words today, you'll need your whiteboard marker, and eraser. So in your lesson today, there's 3 things that we need to do. And I've written them down. First thing is a worksheet in your student book called Opposites. The second thing is to practice the words in your spelling box. And last thing is your dictation, which reminds me, I didn't tell you this, but get your dictation notebook out. You may or may not have one that looks like this, but whatever it is you use to write your sentences for dictation, you'll need it today. So let's begin in your student book first, so we can check off number 1 on our list of things to do. Open up your student book to page 30, and you will find a page that looks like this. All right, and I'm going to go through number 1 and number 2 with you, but before I do that, I'm going to read you the instructions. Maybe I'll show them on there so you can see what as I read, okay? Says, fix the following sentences by replacing the underlined word, I'm struggling to read this, or words from the spelling list that has the opposite meaning. Write the word on the line provided. Okay, so look at number 1 with me, and it says to you, my sister separates fruit and milk to make a healthy drink. They underlined the word separates. So you have to come up with a word that means the opposite of separate. So if you don't separate something, I looked through your spelling list, and the word mixes is the opposite of separating. So on the line provided, I wrote the word mixes, M-I-X-E-S. And as you write these words, pay close attention to the spelling because this is another chance to practice these words so that you're prepared for your next lesson, which is the Show You Know quiz. Okay, going on to number 2, says Tom copies stories for his writing assignments. And look at number 2, the word copies is underlined. So we have to figure out the opposite word from your spelling list that means copies. As I looked through the list, I thought of the word invents. Makes perfect sense because if you copy someone, they've already got the idea, you just use their idea. But if you come up and invent your own idea, that's the opposite. It's coming from your own brain. It's not something that you're copying. So invents would be the answer to number 2. Go ahead and write that now. And then once you're done with that, your job is to finish the rest of this page. And then don't forget, over here on this side, there's just a couple more. Doing the same exact thing, okay? How about you push pause and complete that page so that you'll be all done with number 1 item for the lesson for today. And once you're done with that, you can push play again. All right, I'm checking that off because you should have completed item number 1 on our list of things to do. You should have completed the opposites page. We are now ready to go on, and I'll explain what you need to do with your spelling box. So you get in your spelling box and pull out your index cards of the words that you're still needing to practice. So once you have those out, hand those cards to your learning coach or a sibling to read to you, and they'll be telling you these words one by one. As they tell you these words, write them on your whiteboard. So if I'm practicing the word invents, and I get it spelled correctly, then my learning coach can take that word and set it aside. I did great. I don't need to come back to that word. But if I spell a word incorrectly, maybe I spell the word mixes like that. Ugh, that's not right. Then my learning coach would take that card and put it back in the pile so that we come back to that word and we can review it and practice it again And maybe write it out in syllables if you need to help you remember the parts of the word, the chunks, and make it into littler sections so it's easier for you to remember. Okay, that's number 2 for today. You can either push pause now on this video and go do that with your learning coach, or you can make sure, I'll remind you at the end of the lesson that you'll still need to do that. All right, moving on to number 3, which is dictation. This is going to require your dictation notebook. Open it up to a blank page where you have no writing and put the number 1. There are going to be 2 sentences that you're going to be writing today. So we're going to start with sentence 1. I will tell you the sentence, and then I want you to repeat the sentence back to me, and then you're going to write it in your notebook. And as you write that sentence, whenever you come to a word in the sentence that is a spelling word, circle that word. So, sentence number 1, this is the first one you're going to be writing. I will read it to you, and then you repeat it back. Cold winters in New Hampshire can cause discomfort if you don't dress warmly enough. I hope you're repeating it. Okay, let me tell you that sentence one more time. Cold winters in New Hampshire can cause discomfort if you don't dress warmly enough. All right. Go ahead and write that sentence and circle any of the words in that sentence that are a spelling word. All right, moving on to sentence number 2. The actor from Arkansas had a rough time learning his lines. Let me repeat that back to you. The actor from Arkansas had a rough time learning his lines. Go ahead and write that now. Once you have those 2 sentences written in your dictation notebook, you're going to want to also have your learning coach double check that you've written them correctly and help you fix any errors that you may have made. Make sure, though, that you capitalize the first letter of that sentence and that you did put the proper punctuation at the end of the sentence. So that completes number 3 on our list of things to do today. Now, going back to number 2, if you did not do your spelling box activity with a learning coach or a sibling, you'll need to still do that. That's why I didn't cross it off in case you were waiting till the end. So let me just quickly review. You completed the opposites page in your student notebook, going through your list of words in your spelling box, and then you've written those 2 sentences I've just told you in your dictation notebook. If you've done all 3 of those, go into your online learning school and have your learning coach mark this lesson complete and also mark how much time that you've spent. Are you keeping track of attendance every day? Are you making sure to log that attendance? It's so important that you're keeping track of the time you're spending in your not only spelling courses, but in math and in your literature and in art and music and all the subjects that you're enrolled with in K-12. We want to know the time you're spending so you get credit for it. Our school does require that you do at least 5.5 hours of school every day, 5 days a week. And so your teacher monitors that every day, your homeroom teacher. If we see that you're slipping behind, we'll get with you and come up with a plan to help you get back on track. But let's just take care of it and make sure every day you're getting those hours in and that your learning coach is logging those things for you. Alrighty, I just want to tell you thanks. Thanks for stopping by and have a great day.